true form of oil of oregano. Now available in our limited first run at InfoWarsLife.com. That's InfoWarsLife.com or call 888-253-3139. Sold out for weeks due to the difficult and extensive proprietary process behind its creation, the exclusive InfoWars Life Secret 12 formulation is now back in stock. This ultra-clean vitamin B12 nutraceutical has been carefully crafted and developed over the last 2 years and is based on cellular science of how your body actively absorbs essential nutrients. Most forms of vitamin B12 are highly processed and synthetic and could not be properly absorbed by the body. Secret 12 is a binary of nutramedical grade, bioavailable coenzyme forms of B12, methylcobalamin, the same kind used in B12 injections, and adenosylcobalamin, the most bioactive form that has been created with our proprietary process. Secret 12 is taken by mouth, right on the tongue, and then swallowed. No needles, no injections. Don't take my word for it. Try it for yourself. Discover the secret. Secret 12. Supplies of Secret 12 are very limited. Secure yours today at InfoWarsLife.com or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139. In the near future.
When you realize how fake it all is, the football, the basketball.
Alert. Security alert. This is Homeland Security. Analysis. InfoWars building independent media operation.
You let the worst people get controlled and tell us that we are the ones responsible.
Prime directive. Discredit Alex Jones.
Jones is the wildly popular conspiracy theorist.
A popular conspiracy theory talk show called InfoWars.
Alex Jones is now in an Austin jail.
These people are assaulting us.
Targeting of patriots engaged.
They are never going to stop. They're never going to deviate from their program until we stop them.
Block free iPhone app at Infowars.com. Block free podcast and video feed. Imperative. Destroy Prison Planet TV.
You gotta set your eye on the enemy, not worry about what propaganda they put out. Intellectually, it's begun. You can feel it.
The average person's life is filled with unexpected challenges. Unlock the energy it takes to defeat these daily beasts with super male or super female vitality, specifically designed to assist the body in regulating proper hormone balance to create superior vitality in males and females. Supercharge and conquer your world at InfoWarsLife.com or call 1-888-253-3139.
The government's Department of Homeland Security is buying up loads of ammo. At the same time, they're restricting civilians' rights to own and purchase firearms. Can you put 2 and 2 together? Infidel Body Armor can stop every round, including hollow points and .308 sniper rounds. Is reasonably priced and fully legal. But for how long? Go to InfidelBodyArmor.com, spelled INFIDEL bodyarmor.com. Infidel Body Armor. Just won't quit.
You're listening to The Alex Jones Show. Waging war on corruption. It's Alex Jones.
Welcome back to the Alex Jones Show. I'm David Knight, your host. We were just talking to our reporter, Joe Biggs in Chicago, about this story that was broken by The Guardian, talking about the black site there. A black site in the sense that they would hold people there for very long periods of time without charging them with any crimes. Reports that people there had been brutalized, tortured, been handcuffed and beaten while they were handcuffed. And then some people, it's alleged, had died there. And, of course, the police come back with a press release and say, there's nothing to it. We follow all the laws. And MSNBC just repeats verbatim their their press release. No comment whatsoever. Nothing about the people, the alleged victims, nothing from the lawyers. MSNBC just parrots back what the Chicago police say without any questions. See there? Didn't happen, just as Joe Biggs was saying. The same thing we saw happen when we had James Clapper obviously lying to the Senate Intelligence Committee, saying, no, we're not stealing any of this information. We're following the law everywhere, and he's looking down. He can't even look at the senator because the senator knows he's lying. The staff knows he's lying. Clapper, of course, knows he's lying. But they just go with this, and of course mainstream media gives them cover. Now that's one of the ways that they do it. As I pointed out, NPR's headline takes a little bit different spin. They say, well, this story is a stretch. Even if it is a stretch, and it is, it stirred up bad memories about black people being singled out because it's been used against people politically as part of a NATO protest. They testified they've been there, but the vast majority of the people that are being picked up with this are people that are falling under the war on drugs. And of course, that falls disproportionately on the poor and on the black, especially in the cities like Chicago. Most of the people who actually serve time for marijuana and other crimes like that, of course, are poor and black. They're not people like Jeb Bush or Jeb Bush's daughter. No, they can break the drug laws and nothing happens to them. They become president. He admits to having done that as a youthful indiscretion, just like Obama. But of course, these same people who did it when they were young will not only send people who are doing it recreationally to jail for their lives with these mandatory minimums that were enacted by Ronald Reagan. See, it's the left, it's the right, it's all of them together. They want a large prison population. They want a prison planet. But not only will they do that, but they will withhold it from people who need it for medical purposes. That's what Rand Paul pointed out about Jeb Bush's hypocrisy. He would use it, violate the laws for recreational purposes, yet he would deny that to people who need it for medical purposes. People who are suffering from multiple sclerosis, people who are suffering from cancer or from glaucoma, that we know this could help them with their treatment. Nevertheless, if they get it, we're going to send them to jail. We're going to allow people to choke to death on their own vomit in jail because they can't control the nausea. That was an author, I can't remember his name. He was in California. He wrote a book called Nobody's Business If You Do. Can't remember that. Maybe you guys could look it up. But anyway, he was an activist, and he wrote about the junction of the war on drugs against our liberties. And he had a judge who kept telling him that he was taking treatment for AIDS, and it was making him deathly nauseous, just like people get when they take chemotherapy. Yes, Peter McWilliams. Thank you. And they told him that, no, we don't care if it works for you. You're not going to be allowed to take it. And he says, well, I'm going to keep taking it. So the judge locked him up in contempt in a jail cell. And while he was in jail, could not get access to marijuana that would keep him from getting sick. He choked to death on his own vomit. That's what people like Jeb Bush will do to people while he takes it recreationally and nothing happens to him. Nothing happens to him. Now, we also see other newspaper sites. This is the way the Chicago Tribune reported this black site. They say, hey, this is something that's been going on for a long time. Allegations like this of police misconduct has been around this city for decades. You know, it's just a tough town. This is what they say. The Guardian stories and online advocacy campaign that's followed it have focused on the plight of several people who were arrested during the 2012 NATO summit in Chicago. Most of those people were protesters from other cities, unfamiliar with the travails of being arrested and tossed into the sprawling, messy criminal justice system of a large city with a serious violent crime problem. Okay, so yeah, you know, it's just these people, like, they're a little bit too thin-skinned. They just don't understand that here in a big city, we're kind of tough guys. You know, we can rough you up while you're in handcuffs. We can hold you for days without charging you with anything, and then just throw you out the door without an apology. And of course, this is all okay because, you know, here we've got a serious violent crime problem. Yeah, you know what? You got a violent crime problem with your police. You got a violent crime problem that is a function of the war of drugs, the war against our rights, the war against our legal system, the war against our people. That's what the war of drugs is about. It's a war conducted on us by our own government. Now, of course, it should worry us very much what our government is trying to do in terms of taking away informed consent. And I've got a clip coming up about how that's being done in Oregon, the amazing hypocrisy of someone who is both a doctor and a senator who ought to know better, but she doesn't. She doesn't have respect for liberty. She doesn't have respect for our choices. This is something that is being laid down, all of this measles talk and mandatory vaccines. That's being done to lay the groundwork for something like an Ebola outbreak. And understand that Ebola is not over yet. Just yesterday, we had emergency responders investigating a possible Virginia Ebola case. This is medics, firefighters, and hazardous materials team, this is according to Reuters, investigated a possible case of Ebola in a Virginia suburb of Washington, D.C., and that was on Thursday. This story came out just yesterday. They say the patient had recently traveled to a country affected by Ebola and exhibited symptoms of the disease. And, of course, they point out nearly 10,000 people have died in West Africa. This is many, many, many times more than we have ever seen from previous Ebola outbreaks. And, of course, just yesterday we learned that Sierra Leone's vice president is now in quarantine. They still don't have it under control in Sierra Leone. Guinea and Liberia were the other two countries where they've had most of the casualties. About 7 days ago, Liberia lifted their curfew. They opened their borders, but it is still raging and still increasing in Sierra Leone with the vice president of that country in quarantine. Unlike CNN reporter and doctor Nancy Snyderman. Remember her? She was the one who said, just shut up and take your damn vaccines. There's no conspiracy here. And then when she and her reporters were exposed to Ebola and subject to a quarantine, she was seen popping out and going down to the local drugstore to pick up some, I don't know what it was, donuts or whatever. That's the kind of hypocrisy and attitude. But I want to go to another story that has a lot of hypocrisy in it, and that's, of course, in Oregon. Now, in Oregon, they're trying to take away your informed consent, what they call your personal belief exemption. Understand that by calling it that, they're denigrating your right to be informed, your right to consent. That's what they're completely changing the terms of it. That's how they operate. They choose the terminology, and that helps them to control the debate. It's not being informed. It's not allowing you to get information about what's going on. No, this is just simply your personal belief. And, of course, your faith is the way they're portraying this. In other words, they have science, but we have personal beliefs. So, you can't be trusted, number one. Number two, it isn't your consent. They're going to give you an exemption from their mandates because, according to them, everything is mandated unless they specifically allow it. See, we're their slaves. So we don't have any rights. We only have privileges. We only have exemptions. We don't have any rights. So when they start talking about personal belief exemptions, what they're talking about is taking away your informed consent. Now, this was an exchange, as they're having these hearings, this was an exchange between a lawyer, Robert Snee, he's an attorney, who was arguing the case that we needed to preserve informed consent because that's the hallmark of our medical freedom, of our freedom as individuals. And I'm going to play that clip for you when we come back because the way she responded, and he was addressing the senator who was sponsoring this bill, the way she responded is absolutely amazing. We're going to take that apart in the next segment. Stay with us.
Another major health threat, this one in Toledo, Ohio, where everybody in the entire city has been told not to drink the water.
Ohio's governor declaring a state of emergency.
Did you know that the average person uses about 80 to 100 gallons of water at home every single day? If there's a water emergency, will you be prepared?
Panicked residents forming long lines throughout the day.
We're here at a supermarket in Toledo. You can see the shelves empty where water once was.
To stay safe and healthy during a crisis, you must have access to safe, clean water. Water which will not be available at your local grocery store.
There's a mad dash on right now to stock up on supplies.
The ProPure Pro 1 G2.0 water filtration system is a must-have for every modern, independently minded household. Protect your family's safety during an emergency. Go to InfoWarsStore.com today to purchase your ProPure Pro 1 G2.0 water filtration system or call 1-888-253-3139.
Alex Jones here. For the last 2 years, I've been working with top doctors, nutritionists, and chemists to design a nutraceutical formulation that has truly life-changing health benefits. So many other formulations out there contain toxic ingredients, synthetic additives, and even GMOs. Introducing the all-new Ancient Defense Herbal Immunity Blend, crafted with over 14 key ancient herbs and extracts to supercharge and prepare your body for what experts admit is the most dangerous season of the year. We have rejected perfected hundreds of other formulations in our quest to bring you what is simply the most powerful and comprehensive proprietary formula that we have ever created in the realm of herbal immunity. Experience the benefits of combining over 14 ancient herbs and extracts with exciting new advances in nutraceutical science. Now is